So this is expected to rapidly intensify from Wednesday through landfall. I still expect this to be a major at landfall, possibly even a category 4 at landfall.
We had quite a bit of notice that something was coming up from the Northern Caribbean, the storm that was brewing down there, and it ended up being Hurricane Helene. And although we knew it was coming, little did we know just how much impact it would have on the entire eastern seaboard, including the Smoky Mountains. Prior to that coming, though, we did get a few good days out fishing. This is the calm before the storm. And being up in that tower, there's nothing more beautiful than that at sunrise. This is the U.S. Navy Sea Fighter coming up on us. They do generally head out just before a storm. It's a fascinating ship. It's a small waterplane area twin hull. You can land helicopters on top. It's got 2 helo pads as well as a launch small craft in and out the stern. It is a twin hull, so essentially a catamaran. It's got twin gas turbine engines, quad water jets. It's capable of speeds up to 50 knots or more. Absolutely an amazing boat. Pretty cool to see up close. The 2 trips we took out before the storm ended up being pretty good fishing trips. These guys caught a full limit of red snapper as well as some bonita and a king. These guys got some king mackerel, a bunch of bonita, as well as some Spanish mackerel. Now it was time to start bracing for the hurricane.
I went to Sam's Club today in Tampa, and the employees couldn't even set down the pallet of water in the center of the aisle before people were ripping cases of water off of the pallets. We spoke to some of those people to see what they're doing to prepare.
I'm actually going to the Panhandle, so I'm expecting the worst, but preparing.
When people see this, some think of loading up on water. But for Angie Villarosa, it takes her right back to 2018 when Hurricane Michael ripped through the Panhandle, an area she says still isn't the same almost 6 years later. Villarosa says this time she's preparing differently, focusing less on meat and more on water.
Definitely.
All right, well, we're here at the boat. Get things ready for Hurricane Helene. It's coming. We got a storm anchor. I'll put some extra lines down. Julie's sitting back there somewhere. There she is, I think. I can't see. I had eye surgery yesterday, so timing's off. But right now it looks like the storm is gonna go just miss us and get a little bit over to the east of us by 50 to 70 miles roughly.
Across the top of it from side to side, tied to the safety line. Do you want one of these other blue ropes?
Well, we got it tied up the best we can. Well, hopefully we're good. Sandbags.
Good time. Great.
How much weight we can put in the car. Sandbags for days. This is always a community event. Getting all the sandbags ready for the houses. Well, we have 68 sandbags so far. 3 cases of water, some Gatorade, of course, and see what happens. We got a lot more work to do tomorrow. Okay, I'll help you. Oh, there we go. Get the sand down. And now we're gonna stack a whole nother layer. Ready? Look out, baby. Oh. A huge shout out to Clay and Fleetwood. We just wouldn't have gotten all of our hurricane shutters up without their help. We're very grateful for it. Okay, this one and the bottom one. That one's already done. Yep. Do that one. Help Grandpa with that one. Alright, these are the storm shutters. Storm shutters keep us safe in case of a hurricane.
That fun? Yeah, I like it.
The storm itself is supposed to make landfall within 40 miles of us. And we went through and rode out Hurricane Michael. We did not want to ride out another Cat 5. So we had made the call late last night to go ahead and evacuate and get out of town and head west. And we were planning on doing that early this morning. I got up this morning in a 5 a.m. Advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Has now dropped that to a Category 3 expected at landfall. It's still a very large storm. It's still going to have 20-foot plus storm surge to the east and north of the storm. But because they've dropped it down and the storm has now turned north-northeast instead of due north, that makes me feel a little better as well. So I think we're canceling our evacuation plan, and I think we are going to go ahead and stay home and ride this out. Hopefully we've made the right call, but I was pretty confident in the call last night to evacuate and get out of town. In fact, one of our kids has already evacuated. They left late last night. They got into Alabama about 3 a.m. I got up here at 4 a.m. Waiting for the 5 a.m. update. So that's where we're at. Hopefully it's all good. We'll keep an eye on things, even though we're, a half a mile off the beach. We're high enough up that we're out of a flood zone, and I feel pretty confident that we'll be okay. We got 70 sandbags. Should anything happen, we've got our hurricane fabric up on all the windows, so I think we'll be good.
Rainfall is occurring with this storm and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways. Repeating, a tornado warning remains in effect until 7:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
At this point, we knew this was going to be a pretty major hurricane coming in. They were forecasting 3 to 4. We expected it to be a lot stronger than that. We were still right on the edge. We're trying to stay dry. Hurricane Helene, obviously it's going to miss us. Good. The west side of the storm is not the dirty side, so it's a little bit better over here. We won't have as much impact. Feel bad for everybody east of us, though. They are definitely going to experience some pretty bad stuff tonight in about another hour and a half. So it's hard to believe. We've got almost no wind out here at all. The seas have built a little bit. Some light. We're actually going to take off and get out of town. We decided at the last minute not to. Watching the models early this morning, it looked good, so we decided we'd be safe to stay. House is good and ready to go and prepared, and the boat's all tied up the best we can do, so hopefully everything's good. So we pretty much dodged a bullet on this one.
Yep. Stay safe.
Stay safe, everybody. This is what we do for a hurricane party. What do we got? What is it? Glow stick party? Glow stick party, oh yeah. As the hurricane got close to making land east of us by quite a bit, we were still expecting some surge. It was starting to come up, but as the sun went down, it seemed to be okay. By morning, however, we would have a little bit of surge, but not nearly what our neighbors to the east of us had.
Helene's fury unleashed on the Florida Gulf Coast. Coming ashore last night just east of Tallahassee as a Category 4 hurricane, the storm brought sheets of blinding rain and whipping winds of 140 miles an hour. Storm surge threatened to wash cars off roads. Ocean swells grew so high that it carried these boats from the water and smashed them into homes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Flooded streets resembled rivers. Entire neighborhoods looked more like lakes. This man in Cedar Key tried to check on family.
I was trying to make it to my mama's house, but it's neck deep here. I'm not able to get any further. Oh man.
It prompted thousands of high water rescues from Florida up through the Carolinas. First responders out in boats to rescue people trapped in their homes. In South Pasadena, Florida, firefighters literally battled fires and floods. And in one daring rescue, the Coast Guard airlifted a man and his dog from their stranded sailboat off the coast of Florida's Sanibel Island, with the storm bearing down. Still, Helene claimed lives in multiple states, from fallen trees, debris, and possible tornadoes. Many of them in Georgia, where Governor Brian Kemp said the threat was still very real. In the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, up to 10 inches of rain sent floodwaters roaring past the Biltmore. And in Tennessee, dozens of people had to be airlifted from a hospital engulfed by the rising river. For more than 4 million people across the South tonight, they're left in the dark. And returning power to some customers, officials say, could take days. Helene has now weakened to a tropical depression, but it still threatens millions further inland, hovering over the Tennessee Valley through the weekend. Its sheer size can only fully be comprehended from space, spanning from Missouri to Virginia down to Georgia, where streets and neighborhoods were submerged today, catching many off guard.
I just didn't expect this to happen. Living over here, it wasn't something that came across my mind. This is so crazy.
Back in Florida's Big Bend, it's been a devastating trifecta of hurricanes. Helene made landfall mere miles from where Idalia struck just last year. And many of the same communities are still reeling from Hurricane Debbie just 1 month ago. In Riverview, just outside of Tampa, Randy and Bonnie Hand's home was inundated with water from the nearby Alafaya River. They stayed with family last night, but came back early this morning.
We came back and we were able to get down the street. And we had all the doors taped and sandbagged, but that water finds a way of getting in.
They've been in their home since 1975, and although it has flooded before, they say it's never been this bad. But despite the damage, they've pledged to rebuild no matter how long it takes. Jeff?
As you can see here, the next morning we did have a couple feet of extra tidal surge that did come in overnight, about 4 in the morning. But we were definitely spared here, and we're very grateful for that and feel fortunate for it. And the kids did so well through it all, we decided they needed a break out. And so we took them out for a fun day. The kids and everybody were good for the hurricane, so we decided we'd bring them over after we cleaned up from a hurricane party to Wonderworks. Give them a day of fun. Oh, honey.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yay!
Ander, is this place cool?
I do also look in it. I did it. See the windows? They not have windows before.
I know, it's awesome, huh?
Now they have it.
Now they have it.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
That's awesome. This is what you get for helping Grandpa with all the hurricane prep. That's pretty awesome, huh? Oh, a little peace sign. That's pretty cool. Show you. Look it. That's mine. We are grateful we were spared from Hurricane Helene's wrath. We are now, however, forced to face the possibility of another one possibly coming in next weekend. So we've left the shutters up on the house, most of them anyway. And we've kept our sandbags filled. So hopefully we won't have to repeat another video like this next week.